My name is Ariana Blake, and I need to tell you something important. The man I loved for 3 years tried to destroy me. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me start from the beginning. Damien Holt walked into my life like a movie star. Tall, handsome, with dark eyes that made you feel like you were the only person in the world. He worked at a big marketing company downtown. I was a graphic designer at a small agency. We met at a coffee shop on a rainy Tuesday morning. "Is this seat taken?" he asked, flashing that $1,000,000 smile. I should have seen the red flags, but I didn't. Nobody ever does it first. For 6 months, Damien was perfect. He brought me flowers every Friday. He texted me good morning and good night. He told me I was beautiful, talented, amazing. He made me feel special in ways I'd never felt before. But then, slowly, things changed. If you've ever been in a relationship with a narcissist, hit that like button right now. You'll understand what comes next. It started small. Damien would make little comments about my clothes. "Are you really wearing that to dinner?" he'd say, looking me up and down. Then it was my friends. "I don't think Sarah is a good influence on you. She seems jealous of what we have." Then my work. "You're spending too much time on those designs. Are they really that important?" I made excuses for him. He was stressed at work. He was tired. He just wanted the best for me. Looking back now, I realize he was breaking me down piece by piece, taking away my confidence, isolating me, making me depend on him for everything. By our second year together, I had lost touch with most of my friends. I dressed the way he liked. I questioned every decision I made. I needed his approval for everything. My mom noticed. "Ariana, you've changed," she said one day. "Where's the strong, independent girl I raised?" But I defended him because that's what you do when you're trapped in a narcissist's web. You protect them, even from the truth. On our 3-year anniversary, Damien took me to an expensive restaurant, the kind with tiny portions and huge prices. I thought, maybe, just maybe, he was going to propose. He had been talking about marriage for months, about our future, about the house we'd buy and the kids we'd have. I had picked out wedding dresses in my head. I had imagined our life together. "Ariana," he said, reaching across the table, "I need to talk to you about something serious." My heart raced. This was it. "I think we need to take a break," he said. The restaurant went quiet. Or maybe that was just my world collapsing. "What?" I whispered. "You've become too clingy, too dependent. I need space to figure out what I really want." I felt like I couldn't breathe. "Damien, please, we can work on this. I can change." "That's exactly the problem," he said coldly. "You're always trying to change for me. It's exhausting." He left me there, in that restaurant, with the bill and a broken heart. If you're feeling emotional right now, make sure to subscribe. The story gets so much worse before it gets better. I spent 2 weeks crying in my apartment, eating ice cream, watching sad movies, trying to understand what went wrong. Then my phone started blowing up. Messages from people I barely knew, DMs on social media, texts from old coworkers. "I can't believe what you did to Damien. You're psycho. He deserves better than you." I was confused. What were they talking about? Then I saw his Instagram post. It was a long caption, thousands of words, about how I had been controlling and abusive, how I had isolated him from his friends, how I had threatened him when he tried to leave, how I had stalked him and harassed him. Every terrible thing he had done to me, he was now accusing me of doing it to him. It had hundreds of comments, people supporting him, calling me horrible names, telling him he was brave for speaking out. My hands shook as I scrolled through the post. This couldn't be real. This couldn't be happening. But it was. Damien Holt was destroying my reputation, and people were believing him. The Instagram post was just the beginning. Damien posted screenshots of text messages, except I never sent those messages. He had edited them somehow, changed my words to make me look crazy and obsessive. He posted a photo of a scratch on his arm, claiming I had attacked him. I had never touched him in anger, not once. He shared voice messages where I sounded angry and threatening, but those were cut and edited from longer conversations, taken out of context, twisted to fit his narrative. I tried to defend myself. I posted my own statement, explaining that he was lying, that he was the one who had been manipulative and controlling. But nobody believed me. "She's just trying to play the victim," people commented. "Women like her are why real abuse victims aren't believed. Damien was smart to get away from her." My boss called me into my office. "Ariana, we've seen the posts circulating online. Some clients are concerned. We need to put you on temporary leave until this blows over." I was losing everything, my reputation, my job, my dignity. And Damien? He was thriving, playing the victim, getting sympathy from everyone.
That's when I realized something important. If I was going to survive this, I needed to stop crying and start planning. I spent 3 days in my apartment, not crying this time, researching. I learned everything I could about narcissists and smear campaigns, how they operate, how they manipulate, how they always reveal themselves eventually. I joined online support groups for people who had been through similar situations. I read articles. I watched videos. I took notes. One thing kept coming up in my research. Narcissists always have a pattern. They've done this before. They'll do it again. If Damien had done this to me, maybe he'd done it to someone else. I started digging into his past, looking at old social media posts, finding out about his ex-girlfriends. There were 3 serious relationships before me: Jessica, Monica, Lauren. I found Jessica on Facebook. She was living in another state now, married, happy. I sent her a simple message. "Hi, I know this is random, but I dated Damien Holt. I need to ask you something about your relationship with him." She responded within an hour. "I've been waiting for someone to reach out. I'm so sorry you had to go through what I went through." My heart pounded. This was it. Subscribe if you want to know what Jessica told me. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Jessica and I talked on the phone for 2 hours. Her story was almost identical to mine. The perfect beginning, the slow manipulation, the isolation, the breakup, and then the smear campaign. "He told everyone I was crazy," she said, her voice shaking even after all these years. "He said I stalked him, that I threatened him. None of it was true." "Did you have any proof?" I asked. "No, I was so destroyed that I just ran away, moved to another state, started over. I didn't fight back because I didn't know how." I contacted Monica next. Same story, different details, same pattern. Lauren was harder to find, but when I finally reached her, she told me the worst story yet. "Damien didn't just ruin my reputation," she said. "He got me fired from my job. He contacted my employer with fake evidence of me harassing him. I lost everything. It took me 3 years to rebuild my life." 4 women, 4 identical stories, 1 monster. But here's the thing about patterns. Once you see them, you can predict them. And once you can predict them, you can prepare for them. I asked all 3 women if they would be willing to share their stories publicly if the time came. They all said yes. They were tired of hiding, tired of letting him win. We formed a group chat, called it the Truth Project. And that's when my revenge plan really began. I wasn't going to make the same mistake Damien made. I wasn't going to lie. I wasn't going to manipulate. I was going to use the truth. But I needed evidence. Real evidence. I started by backing up everything. Every text message Damien and I had ever exchanged. Every email. Every photo. Every voice note. Then I went through it all, carefully,
documenting every time he had been controlling, every time he had insulted me, every time he had isolated me from friends and family. I created a timeline, a detailed document showing how the manipulation had escalated over 3 years. I reached out to friends who had witnessed his behavior, asked them to write statements about what they had seen. Several agreed. My best friend Sarah wrote, "I watched Ariana change completely during her relationship with Damien. She stopped hanging out with us. She seemed scared to make decisions without his approval. When I tried to talk to her about it, she defended him. That's when I knew something was really wrong." I gathered everything into organized folders, dated, labeled, backed up in multiple places. But I haven't posted anything yet. I wasn't ready, because I knew that when you come for someone like Damien, you can't miss. You only get one shot. And I was going to make it count. For 3 months, I stayed silent. Let people think whatever they wanted about me. It was the hardest 3 months of my life. Reading the comments, seeing the lies spread, watching Damien play the victim while I was painted as the villain. But I used that time wisely. I saw a therapist who specialized in narcissistic abuse. She helped me understand that nothing that happened was my fault. She helped me heal. I worked on my portfolio, applied for new jobs, started freelancing, built my confidence back up. I stayed in touch with Jessica, Monica, and Lauren. We supported each other, shared our healing journeys, and prepared for the right moment. During those 3 months, I noticed something interesting. Damien couldn't help himself. He kept posting, kept adding to his story. Each time the lies got bigger, more dramatic, more unbelievable. He claimed I had keyed his car. I hadn't. He said I had shown up at his workplace. I hadn't. He posted that I was sending him threatening emails from fake accounts. I wasn't. He was building a house of cards, and I was just waiting for the right moment to blow it down. That moment came when I saw his new Instagram post. I'm so grateful for all the support during this difficult time. I'm even writing a book about my experience to help other men who have been abused by toxic women. Pre-orders are coming soon. He was going to profit from his lies, make money from destroying me. That's when I knew. It was time. Hit that subscribe button because revenge is about to get sweet. I didn't go on social media for my first move. That's what Damien would expect. Instead, I went to his employer.
I had done my research. Damien worked at Sterling & Associates Marketing. They had a strict code of conduct, a reputation to protect, and a zero-tolerance policy for harassment. I sent an email to their HR department. Professional, calm, factual. I explained that I was a former partner of their employee, Damien Holt. I attached the evidence of his smear campaign against me. I included the fake screenshots he had created, the edited voice messages, the lies about me showing up at workplaces and sending threats. I explained that I wasn't asking them to take action. I was simply making them aware that one of their employees was conducting an online harassment campaign. And if he was willing to do this in his personal life, what might he be doing with company resources? I also mentioned that I had evidence he might have used company computers and company time to create and disseminate this content. Timestamps on his posts showed he was often posting during work hours. I sent the email on a Monday morning. Then I waited. By Wednesday, my phone rang. It was an unknown number. "Is this Ariana Blake? This is Linda Chen from Sterling & Associates HR. We'd like to schedule a time to speak with you about your email." We met on Friday. I brought printed copies of everything. The messages, the timeline, the statements from friends, the conversations with his ex-girlfriends. Linda's face got more serious with each page she reviewed. "This is concerning," she said. "Very concerning. We'll be conducting an internal investigation. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. This is not the kind of behavior we tolerate at Sterling & Associates." I left that meeting feeling something I hadn't felt in months. Hope. I didn't hear anything for 2 weeks, but I knew things were happening behind the scenes. Jessica texted me. "Damien just called me screaming, asked if I had talked to you, asked if I had said anything to anyone about him. I told him to lose my number." Monica messaged.
He's trying to get ahead of something. He posted on his Instagram story that bitter exes on trying to sabotage his career. You must have rattled him. I checked Damien's Instagram. Sure enough, there was a story post. Some people can't handle seeing you succeed. My ex is now trying to ruin my career by spreading lies to my employer. This is harassment at its finest, but the truth always wins. I smiled. He was panicking, and panic makes people sloppy. Then my phone rang again. Linda from HR. Ariana, I wanted to update you. We've completed our preliminary investigation. We found that Mr. Holt did indeed use company resources, including company computers and company time, to create and disseminate content about you. We also found that some of the edited screenshots were created using company software. My heart raced. What does this mean? I asked. We're moving forward with disciplinary action. I can't share specific details, but I wanted to thank you for bringing this to our attention. This is not the kind of behavior we tolerate at Sterling & Associates. After we hung up, I sat in silence. This was really happening. The narcissist who thought he was untouchable was finally facing consequences. But I wasn't done yet. Not even close. I decided it was time to tell my side of the story, but I was going to do it strategically. I created a new Instagram account, called it The Truth About Narcissistic Abuse. I didn't use my name. I didn't use Damien's name. Not yet. I started posting educational content, information about narcissistic abuse patterns, signs of manipulation, how smear campaigns work, resources for victims. The account grew slowly at first, then faster. People related to the content. They shared their own stories. They found a community. After 2 weeks, I had 5,000 followers. Then I posted a series called My Story. I told everything. The love bombing phase, the manipulation, the isolation, the smear campaign, but I still didn't name anyone. I focused on the patterns and the pain. The response was overwhelming. This is exactly what happened to me. Thank you for sharing. I thought it was crazy. You're so brave for speaking out. The account grew to 20,000 followers in a week. Damien noticed. He posted on his personal account. It's interesting how abusers love to play victim online. Some people will do anything for attention and sympathy. But his comment section was different now. People were questioning him. This sounds like projection. Why are you so bothered by a random account? Something seems off about your story. The tide was beginning to turn, and I hadn't even revealed his identity yet. Like this video if you can see where this is going. The best part is coming. 2 weeks after my meeting with HR, I got a text from an unknown number. This is karma at its finest. Hope you're happy. It was Damien. I didn't respond, but I knew something had happened. I checked LinkedIn. Damien's profile still listed Sterling & Associates, but there was something different. His job title was gone. Then I saw the post from Sterling & Associates' official account. Sterling & Associates is committed to maintaining the highest standards of professional conduct. We recently parted ways with an employee who violated our code of ethics and company policy. We take workplace integrity seriously. They didn't name him, but people in the industry would know. People talk. I checked Damien's Instagram. He had deleted the post about writing a book. He had deleted several other posts too. The ones with the most lies. The ones with the fake evidence. He was trying to cover his tracks. But the internet never forgets. I had screenshots of everything. That evening, Monica called me. She was laughing and crying at the same time. Ariana, you need to see this. Someone created a Google Doc exposing Damien. It has statements from all his exes, screenshots of his lies, evidence of his manipulations. It's being shared everywhere. Who created it? I asked.
I don't know. It's anonymous, but it's perfect. Everything we talked about is in there. I found the document. It wasn't me who created it, but someone had taken our stories seriously. Someone had done the research. Someone had compiled the truth. The document was titled The Truth About Damien Holt, a pattern of abuse and manipulation. It has been viewed over 50,000 times. Damian went silent on social media for a week. Then he came back with a new strategy. He posted a long apology, but not to me, not to Jessica, Monica, or Lauren. He apologized to his followers for being caught up in drama. He said he was taking time to reflect and grow. He talked about learning from mistakes and becoming a better person. He never admitted to lying. He never admitted to the smear campaign. He never took real accountability. It was a classic narcissist non-apology, the kind that sounds good on the surface, but says nothing. But people were smarter now. The comments section told the story. This isn't a real apology. You're only sorry because you got caught. What about apologizing to the women you hurt? This is manipulation 101. Some people still defended him. Narcissists always have supporters. But the majority had seen through the act. Then something unexpected happened. Damian's best friend Marcus reached out to me. Ariana, I need to tell you something. I should have said this a long time ago. I knew what Damian was doing to you. I saw how he talked about you behind your back. I watched him plan the smear campaign. I was a coward for not speaking up. I'm sorry. Marcus wrote a public statement on his own Instagram. He confessed to knowing about Damian's lies. He apologized for enabling him. He confirmed that Damian had manipulated the screenshots and voice messages. It was the confirmation I needed from someone in Damian's inner circle. The people who had defended Damian started backing away. His comment section became a graveyard. His follower count started dropping. Everything he had built on lies was falling apart. A local podcast called Truth Talks reached out to me. We've been following your story through the anonymous account and the Google Doc. We'd like to interview you and provide a platform for your side of the story. Would you be interested? I thought about it carefully. This could backfire, or it could be the final piece of my revenge. I decided to do it. But I had conditions. I'll do the interview if you also interviewed Jessica, Monica, and Lauren. This isn't just my story. It's our story. It's the story of every person who has been manipulated by a narcissist. They agreed. The podcast had a decent following, about 50,000 regular listeners. But when they announced the upcoming episode, it went viral. Next week, 4 women share their experiences with narcissistic abuse and systematic smear campaigns. This is the interview everyone is talking about. Damian tried to get ahead of it. He posted, "People will do anything for their 15 minutes of fame. I'm choosing to stay silent and take the high road." But everyone could see he was scared. The day before the interview, he made one last attempt to reach me. "Ariana, please don't do this. I'm begging you. I've lost my job. I've lost my reputation. Isn't that enough? I'm sorry for everything. Please." I looked at the message for a long time. Part of me felt sorry for him. The part of me that had loved him once. The part that still remembered the good times. But then I remembered the lies, the manipulation, the smear campaign, the other women he had hurt. The person I had become because of him. I deleted the message and prepared for the interview. Make sure you're subscribed because this next chapter is intense. The podcast interview was scheduled for 2 hours. It ended up being 4. I spoke first. I told my story from beginning to end. The love bombing, the manipulation, the isolation, the smear campaign, the evidence, everything. Then Jessica spoke. Her story mirrored mine so perfectly that the hosts were shocked. The exact same pattern, one host said. The exact same tactics. Monica went next, then Lauren. 4 women, 4 identical experiences. Undeniable proof of a pattern. We didn't just talk about Damian. We talked about narcissistic abuse in general. We shared resources. We explained the warning signs. We turned our pain into education. The episode was released on a Monday morning. By Monday afternoon, it had been downloaded over 100,000 times. By Tuesday, it was trending on social media. Clips from the interview were everywhere. People were sharing their own stories.
the conversation around narcissistic abuse exploded. News outlets picked up the story. 4 women exposed patterns of abuse by marketing professionals. Damien's name was everywhere now, not as the victim he had painted himself to be, but as what he really was: an abuser, a manipulator, a narcissist. His Instagram account went private. Then it disappeared completely. His LinkedIn profile was deleted. He scrubbed himself from the internet. But it didn't matter. The damage was done. His legacy was no longer his perfect victim story. It was the truth. And the truth was ugly. In the weeks after the interview, my life changed in ways I never expected. My inbox flooded with messages, thousands of them. People thanked me for speaking out. People sharing their own stories. People asking for advice on how to escape narcissistic relationships. I realized that my revenge wasn't just about destroying Damien's reputation. It had become something bigger. It had become a movement. I expanded the Instagram account, started posting daily content about narcissistic abuse. Jessica, Monica, and Lauren helped. We became a team, a support system. The account grew to 500,000 followers. We had created a community of survivors, people who had been manipulated, gaslit, and destroyed by narcissists, people who are healing together. Job offers started coming in. Companies wanted me to speak about workplace harassment. Universities wanted me to talk about toxic relationships. Therapy summers wanted me to share my story. I got my job back. My boss called me personally. "We made a mistake, Ariana. We should have investigated before putting you on leave. We'd love to have you back." But I didn't go back. I had found a new purpose. I started working as a consultant, helping companies identify and address narcissistic behavior in the workplace. I was making more money than I ever had at the agency. My reputation wasn't just restored, it was better than before. I wasn't Ariana Blake, the victim of a smear campaign. I was Ariana Blake, the survivor who fought back and won. I didn't hear directly from Damien again, but I heard about him. He moved to a different city, changed his name on official documents, tried to start over. But the internet doesn't forget. Every time he tried to build something new, someone would find out who he really was. The Google Doc followed him everywhere. He tried to get a job at another marketing firm. They Googled his name and found everything. They rejected him. He tried to start his own business. Clients found the podcast and backed out. He tried to date. Women would Google him and run. His parents reached out to me once. They apologized for their son's behavior. They said they had tried to get him help, but he refused. They said they didn't know how to fix what he had broken. I felt sorry for them. They seemed like good people who had raised a monster. Marcus, Damien's former best friend, told me that Damien had become a shell of himself, isolated, paranoid, convinced that everyone was out to get him.
But you have to do it anyway, because staying will cost you everything: your self-esteem, your relationships, your career, your peace, your future. And when you leave, they might start a smear campaign. They might lie about you. They might try to turn people against you. Let them. Because here's the secret. The people who believe their lies without hearing your side aren't your people. The people who matter will see through it. The people who love you will stand by you. Document everything. Keep records. Build your evidence. Protect yourself. And when you're ready, tell your truth. Not for revenge, but for healing, for closure, for the next person they might try to hurt. Your story matters. Your voice matters. You matter. Subscribe if you need to hear this today. It's been 2 years since everything happened with Damien. 2 years since the smear campaign. 2 years since my life fell apart and I built it back better. The support community we created is still going strong. We've helped thousands of people escape narcissistic relationships. We've provided resources and support and hope. Jessica is engaged to a wonderful person who treats her like a queen. Her blog has become a business with multiple employees. Monica has her own therapy practice now. She specializes in helping survivors of narcissistic abuse. She's booked months in advance.
Lauren's book is being adapted into a documentary. She's become an advocate for abuse survivors and travels the country speaking at colleges and conferences. And me? I'm happier than I've ever been. I wake up every morning grateful for my life, grateful for the strength I found, grateful for the community we built. I run into people sometimes who believed Damien's lies back then. Some apologize, some pretend they never doubted me, some avoid eye contact. I don't hold grudges. I understand how convincing narcissists can be, how easy it is to believe a well-told lie. The Instagram account just hit 2 million followers last week. We're launching a podcast of our own. We're creating an app to help people document abuse safely. We're building something that will outlast all of us. As for Damien, I heard he's still in therapy, still trying to change. I genuinely hope he does. Not for my sake, but for the sake of anyone who might cross his path in the future. But whether he changes or not isn't my concern anymore. He's no longer part of my story. He's just a chapter I survived. The best revenge wasn't destroying him. It was becoming someone he could never touch again. Someone who turned pain into power. Someone who helps others do the same. So, here's the truth about revenge. Real revenge isn't about making someone suffer. It's about taking back your power. It's about refusing to let them define your story. It's about building something so beautiful from the ashes that they can't help but see what they lost. Damien tried to ruin my reputation. He spent months creating lies, manipulating evidence, and turning people against me. He wanted to destroy me completely. But he failed. Because while he was busy tearing me down, I was busy building myself back up. While he was creating fake screenshots, I was gathering real evidence. While he was playing the victim, I was becoming a survivor. And in the end, his lies collapsed under the weight of the truth. I didn't have to become like him to beat him. I didn't have to lie or manipulate or play dirty. I just had to be patient, strategic, and committed to the truth. That's what people don't understand about dealing with narcissists. You don't beat them by stooping to their level. You beat them by staying true to yourself, by gathering evidence, by building your case, by waiting for the right moment. Because narcissists always self-destruct eventually. They can't help it. Their lies get bigger, their stories get more dramatic, their mask slips, and when it does, everyone sees what was underneath all along. My reputation isn't just restored, it's stronger than ever. I'm known as someone who survived, someone who fought back, someone who helps others. Damien's legacy is the opposite. He's known as a manipulator, an abuser, a cautionary tale, exactly what he tried to make me. But here's what I want you to remember if you're going through something similar right now. Your abuser's smear campaign feels permanent. It feels like everyone will believe them forever. It feels like you'll never recover from the damage they've caused. But you will. Time reveals the truth. Evidence speaks louder than lies. And people are smarter than narcissists give them credit for. Document everything, stay calm, build your case, surround yourself with people who believe you. Get therapy, heal, and when the time is right, tell your truth. Not for revenge, but for freedom, for closure, for peace. Because the best revenge isn't hurting them back. It's healing, it's thriving, it's building a life so amazing that they become irrelevant. It's waking up one day and realizing you haven't thought about them in weeks, that their name doesn't make your heart race anymore, that their memory doesn't have power over you. That's when you know you've won. 2 years ago, I thought my life was over. I thought Damien had destroyed everything. I thought I'd never recover from what he did. But today, I'm living proof that you can survive a narcissistic smear campaign. You can rebuild your reputation. You can take back your power. You can turn your pain into purpose. And you can absolutely, completely, thoroughly win. Damien tried to ruin my reputation. Instead, I ruined his legacy, and I built something beautiful in the process. That's real revenge. That's a real victory. That's real freedom. If this story touched you, please hit that subscribe button right now. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment and tell me your story. You're not alone in this fight. And remember, narcissists want you to stay silent. They want you to hide. They want you to believe that you're powerless. Prove them wrong. Your voice matters. Your truth matters. You matter. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of this community. Thank you for believing survivors. This is Ariana Blake, reminding you that the truth always wins. It just takes time, strategy, and courage. Stay strong, stay smart, and never let anyone dim your light. See you in the next video.